What's up, guys? It's your boy Smalls back with The Vault, the weekly show from Thoughts from the Bench that takes a look back at some of the best and worst jerseys in sports. With me, as always, on this beautiful day is Mr. Benny Buckets. How's it going, bro?
I am doing great, man. It's been a good week. I'm happy to be back on the show. I'm happy about our topic tonight. I am pumped, getting ready to get into it, man. How are you?
Living that Connecticut life, bro. Right next to all those massholes, like I said last week. So I think we should just bring on our guest today. Benny, I'm going to let you do the intro here, if you're good with that.
Yeah, okay. So everybody, someone who has been a friend of Thoughts on the Bench for a long time and a supporter of the show and a supporter of the company is a close friend of mine and tattoo connoisseur, Tyler Faulk. Tyler, welcome to the show. Thanks for coming on, pal.
It is an honor to be here. I'm telling you, this is definitely something I've really been trying to get on and watching from a distance. And you guys do a great job here, so I'm happy to be part of it.
Absolutely.
Thanks, man. I feel flattered. That means a lot. And we're happy that you came on, especially this week. And I know, you and I've seen you at Thoughts on the Bench events, and you and I have talked about certain things regarding the company as a whole and the show multiple times. And you and I go way back. So I'm really happy to have you on, man. I can't thank you enough for coming on. All right, Falk. So you are a Pittsburgh native, but right now you're somewhere else. Why don't you tell the people where you're recording the show from right now?
All right, so right now I am in the city of New Orleans. Not necessarily by choice. I'm down here for work. Better than Ohio. I was in Ohio for 2 years, and I'm upset that is the worst state in
Amen,
America.
brother.
So
Amen, brother.
anything that's better than
Well,
Ohio.
hey, I was gonna say that's got to be a really nice upgrade going from Ohio to New Orleans for sure. And I mean, at least you went to a place that is also another pretty big sports city. It's got a good culture down there, so you're at least able to stay connected pretty well. That's good.
Oh yeah, 100%. I'm really striving to go to a Saints game. I love Kamara. I think he's on maybe like 6 of my 7 fantasy teams. So if you go to the game, or at least 10 more fantasy points, I'm gonna try to get some season tickets or something.
Oh, yeah. Hey. All right, guys. After some technical difficulties, y'all will see this all chopped up. We're doing athlete tattoos this week. Definitely like a different topic, but one that I think could be pretty interesting. Not jersey specific, but I mean, like, you're gonna recognize a lot of these athletes that we talk about. But like, I'm kind of fucking excited for this topic. It definitely off the wall, but
I like that this was unorthodox to a point, and I kind of like that we've been expanding. Obviously, like, we're the jersey and the uniform show, but I like that we're showing some depth and some variety, and hopefully this will help us reach just like some of our other topics. That it'll help us reach different audiences, and I mean, definitely me and Falk are covered in tattoos, so I think this was a perfect week to have Falk on, and Falk was one of the people who got me into getting tattoos, so. I'm happy that we're being able to merge that world with the sports world today, and I think this is going to be a great topic, man. I'm psyched.
oh yeah.
Dude, I think like doing this research for this, not only one, that I learned there's some really good tattoos out there, and two, really how much tattoos like show stories of like people. Like definitely on like the highest stage of like athletes and celebrities, it's pretty dang cool. So
Yeah, man. I mean, it helps you learn so much like about them, and I mean, and that's really anybody. Like, what matters to them, and because if you're going to get it inked on your body, I mean, there's some people who don't give a shit what they ink on their body, but especially when you're at such a high stage like an athlete, you're going to want it to be some sort of extension or representation of you. So I think it's cool to be able to learn that type of stuff. I mean, I'm excited to dive in.
Absolutely. Before we get started, boys, what are we drinking on tonight?
Falk, you go ahead first. Guess first.
okay, you got to go with the old Miller Lite. Nothing crazy, nothing crazy. Look, it gets you through the day. That's all.
Yeah. Well, cheers, pal, to that. And I am drinking a bourbon barrel root beer stout that tastes really good. It's like root beer if it was just darker, but obviously in alcohol. But it's pretty damn good. I'm a big fan. It's originally from Virginia, from Anderson Valley Brewing, and yeah, man, I'm digging it. What about you, Smalls? What are you sipping on?
So, Benny, I'm a big whiskey guy. Big
whiskey guy. Big whiskey guy.
So, I got this Roe and Company. I don't know what it is, but like it's
tough week, huh, bud?
Yeah,
tough fucking week,
bro. Like I said, I've fucking moved by myself. So, I mean, I got some help, like moving in and out of the U-Haul, but that's pretty much it. Connecticut has me drinking like a sailor over here. So,
well, cheers, pal. Cheers.
Let's go, boys. All right. So, without further ado, let's get into the first pick. Benny, who you got for your first tattoo?
All right. Kevin Durant, for those of you who don't know, is all tatted up. His legs, his chest, his stomach, his torso. But you don't really see a lot like on his arms and stuff. He keeps a lot of his tattoos private. Kevin Durant, actually, his entire leg sleeve is portraits of rappers. I know he's got one, I think, of Missy Elliott too as well. But my favorite is this Tupac piece that he has on his calf. I think just A, because it's so well done. B, you got to really admire somebody or at least like what they produced if you're going to get their face tattooed on you, especially if it's not like a relative or somebody like that. The fact that he picked like the perfect picture, and he obviously went to the right artist because they nailed it. And I love the black and gray. It was perfect for the size and how it was shaped around the leg. And I think it's cool that, he brought that culture of rap and basketball together that seemed to ebb and flow really well. And just to be able to have some creative expression emerging his music life with his basketball life and just the detail in the portrait in and of itself. I mean, he's still got the plastic wrap on in this picture, but the tattoo itself is just really well done. And I'm a big fan.
Yeah, no, the artist needs props on this one because, like, I mean, it's a fucking painting on his leg, bro. Like,
yeah, it's a black and gray painting. Honestly, I mean that's why I like it so much. Is to me, I'm very, I mean, not so much with my own, but when I'm looking at other tattoos, I really like to pick apart the detail and how they ended up making something. Like I love photorealism tattoos. I like all different kinds of tattoos, but I think they're fascinating to kind of bring a picture to life just by artwork.
One of the hardest things about tattoos too is doing a human face and being able to, proportionally put that on a body like a calf. Is this one of the two that you're going to get then?
This, if I'm thinking correctly, hang on, I gotta remember. I've been looking at a ton of tattoos the last couple of days. Yeah, this is one of the ones I would get. Yeah, because there's one that I know exactly what Smalls was talking about earlier. That we'll get to down the road. But yeah, man, this is one of the ones, or at least something similar to it, like someone like a music artist or something, because music's a big part of my life. So I definitely think getting a portrait similar to this in a location too, I think is awesome. So I just really dig this tattoo, and I'm a big KD fan. So I'm a fan of the tattoo, man.
Yeah, I mean, Tupac's like the GOAT too. So like, you can't really,
He's still alive somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, he's alive somewhere in like Argentina or some shit. Like he's keeping it pretty low key. But all right, Faulk, what do you got for your first pick?
Okay, so this is a little like shout out to you guys. I know you guys are former soccer athletes, but this is Latin. He's actually one of the first people that I actually watched while watching soccer. I remember playing FIFA, like World Cup edition in like 2015, and I just used Sweden. And this guy, just with long hair, like would absolutely just kick the ball like 100 miles an hour. Then I got into him. We started looking, and his back piece is just incredible. That is like an actual portrait of like a real life tiger. Like it literally looks like he took a photograph, he put that right on his back. Then he has his blend of his religion. But it's Latin. Latin is Latin. He's I think the leading goal scorer for Sweden all time. He's one of the only, if not the only, player I think in some research that I did that has scored in the Netherlands, the United States, Italy, Spain, and England. I think dude is crazy. And actually, like a couple cool fun facts is he ended up tearing his ACL a little bit before he came over to play for the Galaxy, and he actually got ACL surgery in Pittsburgh. So that's like.
Oh, nice! I didn't know that.
I should have camped out of the hospital or something. Just,
Yeah, I mean that's
a tattoo that just it mind blowed me. It was like something where when I saw it, I was like, I want something like it, or something like that, and it's just it was cool.
Well, and I think Falk too. Like when we were hitting on before about detail, when you can hit that precise of detail in the size of that tattoo, like something like that, like usually bigger pieces, they can sometimes have a couple loose ends. Like this is a very solid tattoo that is huge. I mean, it scales his entire back. And for anybody that doesn't know, Zlatan is not a small dude. I mean, he's a big dude for a soccer player. And so that's a massive area to cover. And the fact that they were able to really incorporate 3-4 different types of tattooing into that big black and gray piece on his back is amazing. I love the face portrait. I love the combination of other tattoos being brought into one piece. The merging was perfect. The shading was great. And again, I mean, the photorealism in the portrait itself is just awesome. I think this is a great pick, and I love Zlatan. He's a cocky son of a bitch, and I love it. I think that he's that guy that made people like think that soccer was kind of cool. Like he was one of those types of guys like Beckham, and where he really brought a culture of the attitude, the play, and the look. The long hair, the tattoos, big built guy playing soccer made it not seem like a pussy sport anymore. And I really dig Zlatan for that. So big fan of your pick, dude. I love that.
So I have some Zlatan quotes pulled up just because like his quotes are all time, like some of the best quotes out there. Yeah, he's a cocky son of a bitch, but like I can't help but laugh at how perfect I am. When you buy me, you are buying a Ferrari. Zlatan does not buy his girlfriend a gift for Christmas. He is her gift.
Yeah, dude.
Like
I'm almost 100% sure too that did he play for PSG?
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Whenever they wanted to bring back, or when he was leaving, he told them he would only stay if they built him a statue.
Yeah.
That's the only way to stay with them. Another thing about like just this tattoo that I thought about like when I was looking at it too, it's funny because this tattoo, but I'm a huge Disney guy. And when you go to Disney World in the Animal Kingdom, there's a world tree, and when you look at this tree, it looks like a tree from afar when you first look at it, and then you start really looking at it, and there is just animals everywhere, and it looks like the roots and it looks like the bark, but they're all made of. And if you look at this tattoo, like if you really look at it, I mean, you see like the tiger's face, but then you see the koi fish, then you see the flower blended in, and then you see the Buddhism in the middle of it, and just a combination of tattoos, but to make like a big picture, it's like you can see the big picture, but there's tons of little things to look at too. So
yeah, well, yeah, and
heck yeah, man.
I mean, this guy's a legend just in general. So like this tattoo just kind of fits him, like this guy's Zlatan is Zlatan.
Yeah, it's different if we're looking at a tattoo. It's different if we're looking at a tattoo on somebody who isn't a world-class athlete, but because we are, that's gonna help personify the tattoos even more so.
Mm-hmm. All right. All right. So.
All right, Smalls, what do you got? What's your first pick, bud?
I'm excited.
All right. So I went. Just because I just this one is not like mainstream. I wouldn't say that this is mainstream, but Scott Jorgensen, UFC fighter. He was actually on The Ultimate Fighter back in like 2013. Dude just has like, I mean, he has sleeves that are just like colorful. Like he's like, it just looks good. I don't know, and I mean, throwing like the mohawk too, like he's just like he looks like a wild man, you know, like
He kind of looks like, to me, like if you guys ever watched the movie Hook with Robin Williams, like the
Yes.
Peter Pan based movie or whatever.
I know the guy.
If Rufio grew up, if Rufio grew up, that's where Scott Jorgensen came from, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Did I tell you, if I'm in the ring with that dude, immediately I'm thinking in my head, who in the fuck am I fighting? Like,
Yeah,
the dude looks like a psycho.
I'd just be probably trying to like study his stats first, then I'd be getting my ass dropped. Probably my favorite part, Smalls, of all, I mean, because he's covered, but is on what would be his left arm, but right from our view. Towards his wrist is like that robot with like beams of light behind it. I think that is like kind of funny, but like it's so cool. Like that's very like old school, like 1930s toy type shit, and I love it. Like I feel like, and that's the thing is, in his sleeves and in where they connect into the chest piece, like there's so much variety of what he has. Like, and some people would be pissed that there's not really a theme, but I feel like he shows a lot of diversity in his tattoos. So I don't hate this pick at all. Oof.
Oh, oof.
Sorry, I almost died a little bit. But I like the tats, man.
Inked up, bro. All right, Benny, who you got? UFC to UFC.
Another UFC fighter, and I fucking love Conor McGregor, okay? He has died off last few years, right? But if we're going to at least talk about tattoos, this I looked into it because I wasn't 100% sure like what exactly it was at first, and then once I started really studying, on his chest, that is a fucking baboon head, right? Okay. That looks rabid, but it looks like badass. Like it's not just a little, oh, it's a cute little monkey on his chest. Like this is a ferocious looking motherfucker. And Conor McGregor started already being known as a tough guy, then took the UFC by storm. And Dana White has even said today, you know, Conor obviously is an aggravating person to work with, but he is the most prolific star that they have ever had. He's earned them the most money. He's the most recognizable UFC fighter of all time. And I think part of that is the way he looks and his tattoos. You see the McGregor across the stomach. You see the tiger head on below that. But then that beastly baboon with all the noise around it, but that like American traditional, angry, beastly, fearsome looking baboon head in the center of his chest is something so uncharacteristic for a little Irish guy, but it is fucking awesome, dude. And I love this tat. Like this is one that if I didn't already ruin part of my chest with probably my most regrettable tattoo that's on my chest, I would get something like this and just have to become a fighter. Like to me, this is a tattoo that helps grow the identity of a fighter. Like if you had never seen this guy before in your life and I showed you not this exact picture, but just a picture of him and you saw his tattoos and I asked you what he does for a living, I would be hard pressed for you to say that he's a fucking accountant. Okay. Like, you know that this dude's a fighter. And I think that the identity of who Conor is in just the artwork, and I'm a big American traditional fan. I have a couple tattoos that are American traditional. I think that it's so well done with keeping that style, having a good balance of color with being dark but also vibrant, the placement, the size, the detail. This is just probably my favorite out of the three that I picked.
Yeah. No, this is dope. I mean, first of all, I mean, you see this, you know this is, well, he has his fucking name tattooed like on his ribs, but like,
Yeah.
you know who this is when you see it, you know. But like, I mean, he's a fucking showman. Like he knows what to say to drum up, you know, attention to a fight. I would say up until a few years ago, delivered. Like he's electric. Like he was electric, and like he had an entire country, like the entire country of Ireland was like on this guy's back. Like,
oh yeah, he was getting write-in votes.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, seriously, and it's, you got to figure, this guy was, at the time, there have been people that have done it since, but he was a double champ in 2 divisions. He held a belt in 2 divisions. He also was calling rounds of when he was going to knock people out and doing it. Like, he was like, hey, yeah, I'm going to knock you out in the second round. And then when the second round came, he was fucking finished. I mean, this guy was doing things. He was walking on water in the UFC universe, and he mesmerized an entire fan base and really just people in general, because he's not just a fighter. He's a social media tycoon. He's got his own whiskey business, which has sold very well, and I'm a big fan of his whiskey, actually. I mean, the dude is just so recognizable for so many things, and I think that also, like we were saying, high-profile athletes with tattoos are going to get more attention. This tattoo, everybody knows it's Conor's. Everybody sees it in identifies that with part of who he is. And so I just, I had to put it on the list, man. I love this tat.
Yeah. Dude, the other thing is too I'm so happy you actually picked McGregor. Hit that tattoo, just it alone, like more specifically, like the top, that is such a recognizable tattoo. I think if you see McGregor without that tattoo, you see like him fighting in his early days without that, you know that he didn't have a name for himself. The tattoo came with his reputation. It came with like the bad boy, the or
notorious
or fighter, and yeah. And the thing is too is, so he's a pretty good fighter. His name's Sugar Sean O'Malley, and he's a lightweight fighter too. And he's like 18-1. Like, he's making his way up. He has the same exact tattoo, not the same exact style in the same place. And it's because of Conor. I mean, it's not only is he, influences people by, his actions or in his fighting and his style, but these tattoos play a big part too. I wouldn't be surprised if there's people that we know, which I actually know someone in Hyde Park that has that same tattoo because of the influence that Conor McGregor had. I mean, dude is badass. And I mean, that could literally be the thing with Conor McGregor. That could literally be like Pikachu, you know what I mean? But like the fact that he delivers, and like people would be like, "Holy shit, man! Like Pikachu's a badass."
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
man.
I mean, not only is the tattoo good, but since he's so influential, it just makes it all come together.
Hey, and Sean O'Malley, fun fact, was my honorable mention. I didn't get that in the smalls in time, but he was my honorable mention. Because I think that dude's hilarious. Another fun fact, he is originally from Helena, Montana, which is an hour from where I used to live in Montana. Partied there a few times. Wonderful town. And I met I met somebody at a bar out there called the Rialto in Helena, Montana. So if anybody out there knows what I'm talking about, that's awesome, because that place is amazing. But there was a guy there who was wearing one of like Sean O'Malley's shirts, and I asked him, I was like, oh yeah, man, I love that dude. He's from here, right? And he was like, yeah, he was my best friend in high school. And I was like, okay, like whatever, man. And but yeah, man, I think like, and that's a perfect example. Is that somebody in Conor's sport, right, that took influence from him, not only in career wise, but just his style, and I think that when you're able to influence somebody on multiple levels of their life, that's huge. And if some of the artwork that you choose to get put on yourself is part of that, that's a very monumental tattoo and a very important piece of personality that just what you got put on you and your ideas and someone else's artwork, that collab influenced other people. And that's huge.
Yep. Yeah. No, McGregor's a fucking legend. Like he'll go down as probably like the most, I mean, come on, like he's probably the most known UFC fighter of all time. Like
most noticeable for sure. Cause there's people who don't even watch any sort of extreme sport and know who Conor is.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, like obviously you're going to talk about like GSP, Khabib, like there are guys that are probably like better than McGregor, but like he came in and just like took over, like all facets of what
because
he did.
it wasn't just a physical talent thing; it was a social talent. Like he was able to capitalize everybody. I mean, it was
It's a Netflix documentary, like
yeah, which is awesome. Like it's great, but like, dude, yeah, McGregor's a fucking proper 12.
he knows how to play the game. He knows how to play the game.
Oh yeah, proper 12, very good. I do like
very
some
good.
proper 12, but
hey, Faulk, usher in number 2, pal.
Oh, nice. All right, so I love this one. Yeah, so a little backstory of Scott McKillop. Guarantees probably the least known athlete on here. He's no Pro Bowler, no Hall of Fame vote, but this dude, he grew up in our hometown. All three of us, we went to the same high school. This guy grew up there, and him as an athlete was the role model to I think a lot of kids in our area. He was born in Monroeville, grew up, went to the University of Pittsburgh. He actually had great accolades in Pitt.
Oh, he was awesome at Pitt. He was awesome at Pitt.
He was an All-American in 2008, and if you think about that, that's D1. That's D1 football. And I mean, he was, part of, the little time period where Pitt wasn't, incredibly bad. I mean, they weren't incredibly good either, but I mean, that was backyard brawl days. I mean, people were going to these colleges for that game solely, and he put out. He got drafted in the 5th round by the Niners. He was actually, a pretty good ranked linebacker coming out. 5th round really isn't bad. There's a good amount of people who make teams, and he made the team. He made the Niners. Played a little bit towards the ACL.
Yep,
it is what it is. Dude's a good guy. Doing research on him too, you see a lot of stuff that he gives back, helps coach, all that. Good guy. So the tattoo, I think, is even better. I mean, this guy gets this tattoo on national television on Ink Masters.
Ink Masters, yeah, man.
Season 2, and what's even crazier is when you watch the episode, he sits down. He was an actual human canvas. He sits down. He gives this girl this idea. And, she's like, you know what, that is awesome. I love it. They get to talk. And the artist was also from Pittsburgh. Her name was Sarah Miller. She ended up being the runner-up that season. But just to put yourself on a stage where you kind of know what you want, but you're putting yourself out there on national television to get a tattoo is one thing. And then to come out like this. So this is obviously the Phoenix, Firebird. You can see that he's had tattoos before. But I guarantee you, especially being on national television, this wasn't cheap. So he definitely got his money's worth. I mean, it's colorful, it's vibrant. You can even tell the claws, like where the claws stop. You can tell the different colors, the gradient colors within the actual body of the bird and in the background. It blends very, very well. This is something that it's like not even something that I would think of getting, but this is something like you see and you're like, I would love to have. It's like something that is a recognizable thing. It's definitely something that I think even people who don't like tattoos, I think they'd look at that and enjoy it. I think this is something that you bring home to mom, and mom's like, I hate tattoos. They're like, she's like,
but that's all right, yeah. Cool. And I mean, I think because it's so well done, and I mean another added thing. I mean, Faulk, like you were saying, being on national television is the risk. Because it could turn out like shit. Like, and that's for people who don't watch the show Ink Masters. These human canvases, like, there are occasions where some people get to pick, but most of the time, you're just getting random. You're getting randomly assigned. They're timed, which puts a lot of pressure on the artist. Like, there was a lot of variables that could have made this a fucking terrible tattoo. So the fact that it ended up turning out as clean and as colorful and as vibrant as it did is awesome. And the homer play obviously is going to score some points, being somebody that has so many ties to us. But all in all, dude, great pick for the story and the artwork and the craftsmanship of the tattoo and just the scenario that he was in to get it. I mean, there's a lot of factors that ended up making this an awesome tattoo, and so I support this pick 100%.
Yeah, I mean, dude, this is a painting. Like, it's not even just a tattoo. Like,
Yeah.
It's fucking art, bro. I do remember, so I could be remembering this wrong, but I'm pretty sure that McKillop was actually slated in front of Patrick Willis in that preseason before he tore his ACL. I could be wrong about that.
I mean, there was Pat Willis was also very young at that point.
Yep.
So, I mean, I guarantee it was a 50-50 job. I think they had like Takio Spikes there who was coming in his career. So,
yep.
Yeah.
Play out different. I mean, he ended up going to the Bills too. But, I mean, it's either you come back stronger than ACL or, I mean, that's really just the end of the road. So.
Yep. No, it was a shame. I mean, especially like seeing him like grow up in the same hometown that we did. You know, I'm a Penn State guy, but like I wanted to root for this guy because like he came from fucking Kiski. So like,
yeah, especially our high school. You know, you want to see somebody like that, especially because like we weren't in high school at the same time that he was. So like, who knows? He could have been a big douche. I don't know. You know, but like anything that I hear is he was an awesome guy, and if there's somebody who's being regarded by the public as an awesome guy succeeding, I want to encourage that, you know? So he was definitely an easy guy to root for. But all in all, if we're going to stick on the topic, I mean, dude just got a badass tattoo here. This is an awesome tattoo. 100%. And I think that this fit the theme. Awesome. You hit the theme and you hit something that not only just fit the theme, but it was good. And you played a little bit on the Homer feel. So Faulk, 10 out of 10 on this one, buddy. I mean, it was chef's kisses, pal.
Chef's kisses. All right. So we're going to move on to my second pick. I got Jeremy Shockey. Legendary.
Yeah, goat.
Legendary tight end. Like, legendary tight end. But this is, like, one of the most, like, patriotic tattoos of all time. And, like, this guy, first of all, he was on the 2001 Miami team, which is, like, in my opinion, the greatest college football team of all time.
Goated.
Like,
yeah.
Insane. But, like, Jeremy Shockey hung around the NFL for years. And, like, the tat it's sick. It's just patriotic. Like, this is, like, it makes me want to storm in a fucking battle. Like, it's just, like, this is just awesome. But, and, like, Jeremy Shockey's also just kind of fucking cool. Like, there's something.
Well, and I mean, and that's the thing is, like, I know that you're centering in on like the eagle, but dude's covered. We could have had this whole show about Jeremy Shockey's tattoos. Like, I mean, the dude is, I mean, neck to heels. Like, he is full tatted. But the one that you picked is for sure my favorite. Smalls. Well done, buddy.
Yep. All right. So, Benny, we're gonna go on to your third pick. This is hilarious. So, like, I'm glad you put this in, bro.
Hey, this is the one that I would not get. Okay, but and here's why I love it. Right, Tristan Wirfs and Devin White both got Super Bowl tattoos after they had won the championship. Right. And Bruce Arians told that, and like this was going around the Bucs locker room, and Devin White and Tristan Wirfs both said like, "Hey, we're going to get tattoos if we win. You got to do it with us." And Bruce Arians said, I think this was in the divisional round, so like their first, it was like when they beat the Saints, right? In the locker room, he was like, "If we go on and we win the NFC Championship game and we win the Super Bowl, I'll get a tattoo." Bruce Arians does not have any other tattoos. He has never got a tattoo before in his life. This would have been his first tattoo. And after they won, he said, and he posted it. If you look at the original tweet that this is from, he said, "I'm a man of my word." And it's his crusty liver spotted shoulder with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Super Bowl championship trophy on there. And if you know anything about BA is a guy's guy. Like he is a guy that players love to play for. He's a coach that is respected by other coaches. You got to figure, right? BA was a quarterbacks coach and coordinator in Pittsburgh. Then he goes to Indy, right, and has success with Andrew Luck there. And then was the interim coach when Chuck Pagano was going through all his cancer treatment and earned Coach of the Year honors as an interim coach, coaching only 3/4 of the season. The dude has, and then also went to Arizona and didn't have all the success he wanted, but was still competitive, goes to Tampa Bay, builds a fucking super team and wins a Super Bowl. This guy is a natural-born winner, and he's a natural-born killer. One of my favorite BA stories is Pat McAfee tells it that when he was with the Colts, he would show up to practice, and the one day they were doing like scrimmages, right? Like offense, defense, and however many drills. Like if the offense completed a first down, that would be a point for them, whatever. And Arians was like hyping this up, and he showed up, black hat, his
The
certified
the
Kangol hat. Yeah, the Kangol hat. He's got the Kangol hat, black glasses, black shirt, black pants, socks, shoes. And they were like, BA, what are you all in this black for? And he goes, it's a funeral for the defense, boys. Like, I love that. Like, he's that type of guy that, like, he's competitive every turn. And he's one of the guys, they love having him around. Like, they say, like, BA's their favorite guy to go have a drink with. Like, this is over other athletes. Like, people want to hang out with him, but they respect him. They listen to him because of his work ethic and what he's done. And I think getting the tattoo just because two guys a third of his age told him that he should, and he did it, is like a part of the team camaraderie, is awesome. I love Bruce Arians, the person, and I love that at least this wasn't a tattoo that he got before it happened. Like, this is something that no one will ever be able to take away from him because it's an accomplishment. And I know BA's not an athlete, but I think him being a part of the team and being a head coach, and especially at his age when he got this tattoo, makes him just even cooler. BA stands for Bruce Arians and badass. I love the tattoo.
Yep. Wow. No, I mean, BA is a legend, first of all. BA is like, he's had success pretty much everywhere he's gone, and the players just fucking love him. No matter where he goes, the players just fucking love this guy. And I mean, and this is the epitome of that. Like, he just went out and he's 60. Like,
yeah, this is why. Like, this is why the guys like him.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, not like a crazy piece of art, but the story behind it is, I mean, it's just classic BA,
Mm-hmm. Him getting that tattoo, guarantee you got him, like, respect from those players on that team, because they know that wasn't just his job. It is his job to win football games, but he took his job and he made it, a moment. Like, that's his team, right? Like, that's what they're gonna do. So they're gonna go next year and he's gonna be like, hey, look, I won with this team, but I want to make you guys my new team. And they're gonna be like, he is that personal with the guys, so they're gonna be like all on board, what I mean? So good for him.
Yep.
Yeah, it's an example of his dedication, and I think like you said, and especially the players who did not only also get those tattoos, but a majority of the players on the Buccaneers have tattoos outside of like Tom Brady and maybe their punter, I don't know, but like a majority of them do, and I think seeing an old head or whatever, being able to kind of bring it down to their level and do something that like one of the guys would do, like you said, just exponentially grew their respect for him, because it wasn't just respect on a coach level. It was respect on a man-to-man level. Like, that's awesome that you did that to be one of us, So I had to put it on. It's like you said, Smalls, it's not a beautiful piece of artwork, but it's art. And it's on a 60-year-old man's back that he did for his team.
Really not that bad, though. I mean,
no,
you can see that it's not.
I'm saying, like, in comparison, but like in comparison to the rest of the tattoos we've had on the show. But in general, like, I love the story behind it, and it is well done enough. Like, it's not embarrassing, So, but BA all around, legend in general, and legend for getting the tat, man.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
All right, Faulk. This is like. So I hate Zeke, but like, this is a fucking amazing pick. I love it. I love this.
No, this is like this. I love this one because it goes way back to what we were talking about with McGregor. Like, this was his image. Like, this is what Zeke did. Like, first it was the celebration, right? It was the eat, like first down. He gets first down now. He still does that. And then plus you combine that with his image of wearing the half shirts, right? So like, that was his thing. Like, for the draft. That's literally, he wore a half suit.
He wore a half suit, bro.
So, like, in my head, he's thinking, I mean, look, he has that. At first, a stomach tattoo is not just, hey, like, I'm going to get, something on my arm. I'm going to get something on my back. A stomach tattoo is rough. Okay? Like, it is, and this isn't like a small little ditzy thing. This thing, Like that's in old English letters.
And it's a silhouette. That means that like all the shit is around it. So they just left out the smallest details. He got all that commotion around his stomach, which, like you said, Falk, that is a horrible place to get a tattoo, like pain-wise.
Yeah. And then for as silly as it is, I guess you can say, or how like pretty fucked up it is, it's a cool tattoo. And like when I said like I claim all my tattoos, like, I'm not saying I would put "feed me" on my stomach, but like, let's say like if that was my slogan, right? Like if I like this dude could literally come out with a shirt that says "feed me" and some pictures like his face. There's a commercial of him eating Campbell's soup and he's just sitting there eating. Yep. Like it's like Anthony Davis with a unibrow.
Yep.
Like it's just like it has
it's part of the identity. Yeah,
and it's just like that's his thing. Like he probably has it trademarked, and so not only so he knows that. And that thing, I mean, it's like a gang sign on his goddamn stomach. Like, this dude, like, he's going to show up, he's going to get the ball, he's going to put the ball there, and these guys are going to be like, get the fuck out of my way, because this dude's going to run you over or something.
Yep. Yeah, no, dude, I mean, fucking feet, just the image of him just, like, spooning, like, cereal into his mouth is
dude, that's going to be ingrained in our memories forever, bro. That's my first thought of Zeke. That and that he looks like for all my nerds out there, the main Ewok from Star Wars, like from like Return of the Jedi. Like I can't remember his name. Like it's like Wicket or something like that. But he looks like the main.
Mike watches no comment. He'll correct you.
It's but like the main Ewok from Return of the Jedi. That's exactly who he looks like, carbon copy. But the tattoo, like you said, bro, the fact that it personified him and it was something that he didn't even like originally have this. Like he added it to him after he built that reputation for himself, saying
I think too. I don't think he did this in Ohio State.
No, he didn't. I don't think he did.
No, that's what I'm saying. Is he built the reputation and was like, you know what? Fuck yeah, feed me, and I'm gonna maintain that reputation and put it right here on my goddamn spare tire. And he just went for it, dude. And I love it. I love that. That's like what he went for. Like Smalls, I'm not really a big Zeke fan, but the tattoo itself,
it's amazing.
Because it's well done. Where it is done is an impressive feat that he got all that where it is, because that is a shitty place to get a tattoo. But then also, like you said, man, I mean, that is. He took his identity very literally, put it on his body. It looks good. And man, it's just badass. Like I see that and I'm like, you know, I used to make fun of him for wearing crop tops like a 13-year-old girl. But like, you know, when you cover up what you're exposing with a badass tattoo, it makes me stop making fun of you. You know what I mean? So I love the pick, dude. And this was actually out of the ones that you sent me.
Yep.
Like this was the one that I was happiest to see you put on the list, I think.
Absolutely. All right, so I'm going to move on to my last pick here. I'm going Chris Anderson, Birdman.
Tattoo goat.
Birdman. So this guy's been around a while. But like he just, first of all, he looks insane. He's just so recognizable in the NBA. And if you notice on his neck, it literally, like, his nickname is the Birdman. And he had the mohawk and everything. But his tattoo literally says Freebird. Like,
yep.
Like, I mean, this is all time.
He is, I mean, he's that guy that, like, when we say neck to heels, look at his fucking fingers, for Christ's sake. I mean, literally, like, he is covered. Like, there are people who, like I say, like, I loosely use the term covered in tattoos because basically, like, if you have just large surface area tattoo, he is like legitimately the definition of covered. And he's full color. Like, it's not like he's got a lot of black and gray on him. I mean, he is bright and vibrant and noticeable. And I mean, he wasn't like a bad athlete, you know, when he was in Denver and Miami. I mean, he won the two titles in Miami. He was a good athlete, but you knew him because you saw this 7-foot walking canvas.
He was
I mean, he was the guy. Like, he was like, and if you even looked up athletes with tattoos, Chris Anderson is the first 7 fucking images that come up. I mean, The dude is known for being the tatted basketball player, and from what everybody's told me, like he's just he's a badass, but he's a cool guy. Like everybody likes Birdman. Like there's very few people that have an issue with him, and a lot of like tattoo artists and people who have tattoos loved him for being an ambassador for kind of seeing like, hey man, some tattoos can be beautiful, some of them can be expressive, and some of them can help you assert your identity. Like he kind of stepped out on behalf of the tattoo community and was like, hey man, this shit is cool. And so I got a lot of respect for him. But these tattoos, all of them, I mean, head to toe, they're so different and so colorful. And I don't have any color tattoos. All my tattoos are black and gray just because I don't think that I would be the type of guy that looks good with color. But like I love color on other people, and I think that he looks fucking awesome. This is one that if we left this off, I would allow the viewers to beat the shit out of us. Like this had to be on the list. You know what I mean? Like this was the number one, can't leave off. Yeah. So well done, dude. This was perfect.
Dude, there's so much about like I think Birdman too is I think one, he's not necessarily a current player. Like this guy had these tattoos when it was really like not necessarily okay to have a career and have visible tattoos. Like I think tattoos in a sense have come a long way. This guy not only plays basketball, so other than really maybe UFC, his tattoos are exposed, right? They're wearing tank top, wearing shorts. It's not like in football where you can wear an arm sleeve and then you have your high socks, your pants, and they get covered, right? It's this guy, and then plus like he's pasty white.
Yep.
So like
they're extra bright. Yeah.
Pop out. I mean, like whenever you have so many tattoos, like after a while you can't hide them, and he never did hide them. The guy is nuts, and it's always funny too. When you play like 2K, like 2K3, 2K4, like they don't have tattoos in those games. So like nobody knows who this guy is. Like who is this guy? He like looked like a substitute teacher, and then all of a sudden like watch the game on national TV, and you're like, what?
Yeah, man. I mean, this was like if we were doing a show about tattoos, this is the guy. Yep. So
this isn't even tattoos. This is just people tattoos, right?
Yeah, people tattoos. Yep. That's 100%.
Yep.
So I mean, this Smalls perfect last topic, like last pick to put out for everybody. Like this was the peak. This was the precipice of athlete tattoos. Yep. So I mean, you fucking killed it here, dude. This one needed to be on, and I'm glad that it was.
Absolutely.
Birdman.
Birdman. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, like I even sent this to Benny, like, because I had a feeling that I thought someone was definitely gonna pick this. I was like, before I even looked, I was like, Birdman. I sent it to Ben like right off the bat. I'm like, this is one of my picks.
He said I'll send you my other two later, but I need to lock this one in.
All right. Honorable mentions. So I got David Beckham just because, like, of course. But of course, what everyone's really gonna look at is Mike Tyson because, like, I mean, this is like the most recognizable tattoo of all time on any athlete. Like,
yeah, I mean, recognizable. The just what it is and where it is just ridiculous to me. But like because it's Mike Tyson, like he did it. Like I mean, it's not like he got like a teardrop tattoo. Like he got this fat, thick.
What was that?
It says, is this a picture of Mike Tyson as an athlete or an actor?
Oh,
both.
Oh,
both. But okay, so hear me out, right? Mike Tyson got this face tattoo, okay, and I want to create face tattoo inception, where I get a face tattoo of Mike Tyson with his face tattoo. How does that sound?
Do it. You won't. Do it for the vault. You won't.
Yeah, I won't. No, I won't.
wait, we gotta clip this.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Say like how many retweets? How many retweets will it take to get Ben to have a face tat of Mike Tyson?
Oh no, I'm already writing it down, bro. 52 minutes on the dot. All right. Dude, all right. Well, yeah, dude. I mean, Mike Tyson, I feel like it's one of the, I mean, first of all, it's like, outside of like maybe Muhammad Ali, the greatest boxer of all time, like the most talented boxer of all time, without a doubt. And like his tattoo, yeah, it's ridiculous, but you know who the fuck it is whenever you see it. Like you didn't need to see him with gloves on. You know this is Mike Tyson.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because it's one of those tattoos that goes beyond just the athletic. Like,
yeah,
this is who he is.
Yep.
You know, even just the words face tat, typically people's like trigger thought is Mike Tyson. You know, you could be talking about some drug addict that lives down the street from you who has a face tat, but if people just overhear the word face tat, they're immediately going to think of Mike Tyson. So
Mike Tyson, Gucci Mane. That's it. That's all people.
Yeah.
Yeah, and well, on the other side too, with David Beckham, I think I really like, even growing up, like David Beckham it's kind of like a household name, especially for soccer, because he won. I mean, he won. Not only is he a soccer player, he's like McGregor. He knows how to play the game. He was out here dating, American
Spice
models,
Girl.
American.
Yeah.
And
married the Spice Girl. Yeah.
Yeah. Then he has a family, right? So he has that, quote unquote traditional family, and he still is covered in tattoos. So he was one of the first, athletes for at least America. And then,
he helped pave the way for sure for like tattoo.
But not only did he do that, he was accepted for it, right? There was no backlash for something like that. Because again, like whenever you have certain sports, then you start like thinking like, all right, if my tattoos are showing, what should I get? This guy not only was an athlete, like he was like a model, and like this guy openly, with open arms, said, "This is me. This is what I'm wearing. This is what I'm gonna get inked to my body. Here's my kids. Here's my wife." And people are like, "We love that," and it helped out a lot.
Yeah, and by all accounts too, he was like a good dude. Like,
yeah,
I mean, like there was like, name something like I don't think I've ever heard anything like bad about David Beckham. Like,
yeah, I mean, the dude was he was a guy that you liked, because of the way he carried himself. But I mean, Faulk, like you said, just the boldness to be like, this is part of my life, and a lot of people want to look at me, right? That's why I got into modeling. That's why I'm a pro athlete. A lot of people want to look at me, and I want them to see what I want them to see. So in making his tattoos a part of his expression, knowing that the world is watching him, I think is awesome. And like you said, like he was accepted for it, and he was one of the first people to really start changing the narrative on what people with tattoos were supposed to be like. So big fan of Beckham for A, just the person that he is, but B, is his tattoos for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, that's very class.
Oh yeah. All right, boys. That was good. I had fun.
Like, I had a great time, man.
I'm not inked up, but like I had fun.
This is good.
Yeah.
Does it make you want to just go out there and just get tatted right now?
Well, dude, so like I've literally for the last like 2 years, I have a hard time saying, hey, I'm going to go get tatted just for the fuck of it. Like I want to have like something to like go get like I want to have like a reason to go get tatted. But like
you do.
Yeah.
And
I'm telling you, it's a slippery slope though.
Nah, that's what I heard.
You get one and you're going to be like,
that's what I heard.
need to book another one.
Yep. So like, well, I'm gonna open it up to you guys right now. So, Smalls' first tattoo. What should it be?
Okay, hear me out, Faulk. Let me spearhead.
It's loaded.
This one.
It's loaded,
okay.
But
let me spearhead this one. Okay, so what it's gonna be? I'm gonna actually see if I can kind of like POV this real quick. So it would be. Wait, which way am I trying to go? Right. Okay, am I doing this right? So I would be like this, right, on one of your butt cheeks, peeking out, and then it's just with a little voice bubble that says "Welcome to the Vault," and it's right there on the cusp of your cheek, right, and it just goes to show our partnership And obviously, if you were to do so, I would reciprocate the favor and get one of you doing the same thing. So, I'm just saying it could be a thoughts from the bench couples tat, and I would do it. So,
all right, well, I'm not gonna do that.
all right, Falk, what do you got for him?
I got two. I got a good one, and I got a bad one. Which one do you want first?
Give me the bad one first.
Right. Give him the bad one.
All right, so hear me out. It's kind of like Zeke's tattoo right here, like right mid abdominal area.
Okay.
And it's just big exclamation mark. The sign, like the yield sign, and there's an arrow pointing down, and it says choking hazard. All right, but the good one. Okay, the good one. First of all, you gotta. The good thing about tattoos, right, is it can literally be anything. And one of the great things that the guy that Ben and I go to. So Ben and I have like good artwork, like good stuff, and everybody's always biased to your tattoo artist. But Ben and I also have different style tattoos, which is awesome too. So one person could really have his own style. But I'm thinking for you, Smalls, I call Cantor, so I'm gonna call Cantor. You gotta get, okay, a nitty line.
Okay, that's not bad.
Like on your back shoulder blade.
Okay.
Because one right there enough, it can be something cool. So like you gotta look back at what we're talking about was Latin. I mean, you're not gonna get like that. Like you're not gonna get like your but like nitty line is something where like you tell an artist to draw it up, and it's not necessarily like you have to Google search like nitty line and then look for a picture. Like a lot of times too, I'll go in, I have my idea. I tell Iron Element, shout out Iron Element in Leechburg. I tell him I go in, I give him it. He goes back, he draws it, right? Comes out, and I look at it. I'm like, all right, like that's awesome. I was like, how about we change this? And then he goes back real quick, puts it up. But I'm telling you, like a nitty line, like it could be like weird.
And for something that like you're obviously,
you know what I'm saying? I think it'd be
like
nice.
It's something you're proud of, right? Is being Penn State alum.
Yep.
It's a big part of who you are, and you could get it somewhere where it's not exposed all the time. You expose it when you want to. It's something that's still coverable and it's personal to you. But if you want to show people, like if you want to show people, I'll hoist you on my shoulders like a toddler, and we can just cut out a circle in your shirt. And I'll show everybody. Yeah. I mean, like I'll do whatever you need me to. Really, whatever I can do to get you tatted at this point. Wow. I'm a big peer pressure inducer. So like, definitely, like I'm the guy going, do it. Like, and if I can get you to get tatted, I'll do what I need to do on my end. Yeah. So if it's you need me to pose right for the butt tat that we already discussed, like I'll do that. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah. Well, exactly.
You've been asked that?
I don't, but I'm going to at some point. Like it's inevitable. Like I know I'm gonna get one. It's just when.
What? Just for the comedy? Just cause?
I mean, it might mean something. I don't know, but I feel like it's something for me that like people who know me, and especially people who know me and also have tattoos, like they look at me and they're like, "Yeah, Ben's an ass tat guy." Like it would, like, and I feel like Falk even asked that because it wouldn't be surprising if I did have one. Like
funny too, because once you start getting tattoos too, like if you have an ass tat, like it's just it's nothing. It's just like it's funny because like the ass is actually probably the easiest thing to get tattooed. Like you don't even feel it.
Yeah.
So I did have one idea, and this is more of like a personal one for me. Let me try to pull it up real quick. So have y'all ever seen like the old Ford Firebirds?
The car?
Yes. Oh, yeah, we've talked about this. Yes. Yeah. Well, you showed me this.
Yeah. So I just want like the logo. That's all I want. I just want the logo.
So then what's your second tattoo?
Well, shit. Okay, well, now I'm just not going to get that.
See, I'm going to keep going on. No, I mean, like, I'm telling you, like,
No, he's saying like when you get one,
you're not getting one, and you're not a one and done. It's just it's.
I thought you were shitting on my. I thought you were shitting on my
saying.
idea, saying like, "Hey, why don't you just go with your second pick there?"
No. I just mean like, as soon as you get that, they're like, you're gonna be walking out and be like, "Hey, like," because I mean, like the thing is too, especially now that COVID's kind of like slowly coming to an end. Like, tattoo places they're getting packed, man. So like, you're gonna get in. You might not get in for like another like 6 months,
couple months. Yeah. Well, and see, buddy, and that's what I'm saying though is like I said. Originally, I had 2 tattoos in my head that I wanted to get, right? And I said, like, that's it. That's all I want. I have had 12 sessions in the chair now in my lifetime. So it's like, I mean, you know what I mean? Like I said, yeah, 1 or 2, and now I'm here 10 more later. So, I mean, it's kind of one of those things, man, that like, and now if you have good self-discipline, which I certainly don't, then like you probably can stick to one. But it's just going to be a point where you're like, yeah, dude, like this is part of me now. I love the way it looks. And it's addicting because too, like I always say, at least for guys, I mean, and girls get tattoos too, obviously, but tattoos are like makeup for guys. It's something you can do to yourself to make you feel better. It's expressive of what you want. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So Tanner, I feel like
if you do get that logo, where do you want to get it?
Yeah, I've thought about it a little bit. If anything, I wouldn't want to do just the logo, but I would also kind of want like a half sleeve. I wouldn't want the full sleeve, but I would want like a half sleeve. So, like I'm
like you would get more. You wouldn't actually get. So you are kind of thinking like things to add on to it.
Yeah, no,
which
absolutely.
is good too.
Yeah, long term.
When you get like half sleeves and stuff, like there's a lot. Like you have to get things called like fillers.
Yeah.
So like it's not necessarily like you don't just like pick like 8 tattoos and they all just blend together. Like you have to think too. Like you can get like water or smoke or some kind of like.
Yeah. Hey, I have an appointment on the 1st that is to finish my sleeve with filler. That's what my next appointment is to get that finished. So, I mean, and that's things you got to think of, but like, don't get too stuck on it as if like that's a major part of the tattoo.
Yeah.
That's just to help give the aesthetic and the look. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like the main pieces that you want are going to be what's focused on. It's just try and find something that matches it to fill the space that you can't slap pieces in. You know what I mean? So
also, never judge a tattoo that you're going to get off of like maybe a bad tattoo that one of your friends has. Like, it's like I meet like a lot of people. Like when I travel, I meet a lot of people who get tattoos from like legitly their friends. You know what I mean? And like they're like, dude, I'm never gonna get that tattoo or anything like that. But or like they'll look at one of my tattoos and they'll be like, oh my god, like that's amazing. And I'm just like, look, I mean, I love my tattoos. I think they're awesome. But like, are they like worth like $2,500 session that like some people like no, but like it's I think especially in like where we're from and just people, you set an appointment up, you talk to the guy, like you'll get what you want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's definitely a good thing to get into. I think especially too like how I kind of mentioned before, like tattoos have came a good a long way. Like, wrestling coach, like Coach Heater, he's a teacher and he literally has a full arm sleeve. And
it's I mean, and that's why I think we had a great topic today because it's not just applicable to sports. You know what I mean? Like this is a people thing, and we just wanted to highlight the athletes that have built a platform for it to be okay. And that's like right now, like the job I have is in an office setting, right? And I can wear short sleeves because they don't care that I have an arm sleeve, and I coach high school soccer. They don't care that I have tattoos now, as long as they're not offensive, so it's becoming more acceptable the further and further we go. And I'm really happy about that, man. So, I mean, this week, great time to talk about it. And I'm pumped that we got to. And Faulk, thank you again for coming on, man. I mean, seriously, dude, especially for this tattoo, we wanted to have you, but just having you at all, especially from talking to you about the show before, And about thoughts from the bench, we owe you big time. I'm really glad you came on, man, and hope to have you back soon.
No, I mean, you guys don't owe me anything. Like, this is this was awesome. Like, this is like a true honor. I was telling, Ben, like, I was kind of nervous because, like what you guys do, it's professional. It's maybe like the sounds and in the vulgar language isn't like an office anything, but this is something that this is definitely something that if people get exposed to, this is something that they'll definitely catch on to. I think you guys have a great thing going. I'm honored to be on here, let alone have that little unique kind of episode, I guess you could say. But no, it's cool. I love just collaborating and having different ideas of it, and even like your thought processes behind the tattoos you picked. Like obviously I know Ben's tattoos, right? Like I love Ben's tattoos, and I know that you coming Canner is completely different than having. It's a different perspective, right?
Yeah, right.
So it's awesome. I love seeing tattoos. Love seeing them in sports.
Yep.
Especially because we love them. So it's awesome.
Yeah, no, I mean, dude, like Ben already said, I appreciate you coming on, man. This has honestly been one of the more like engaging episodes I've been on.
Yeah.
Like I've like really like, I don't know, like it just feels like it's just like a conversation. More like I've loved some of our other guests so far, but like this has just been like a straight up conversation the entire time. Outside of like the technical difficulties at the start, but no, man. I mean, this has been awesome. I appreciate you, tuning in as much as you do, and yeah, man. I mean, we try to be as professional. Well, we don't try to be that professional. I try to put together to make it look.
Well, I just mean like, man, like you guys, like once you guys get that break you need, right? Like once you guys get that one viewer that can, listen to this and, they're like, man, they got something here, whether it's, obviously the vault or just your guys' podcast, man. Like, it's like funny whenever, Derek's going away, like, Ian's like, hey, they're doing live podcast, stuff like that. It's like a no brainer, right? Mm-hmm. It's like, it's a good time. And then hearing you guys talk, and it's relatable to really anybody. Mm-hmm. It's fun, like Ben is by far like one of the funniest people I've ever met. So when you put him on a podcast where he can talk about something that can literally relate to anybody, like I don't understand like how you pass that up. So just being here, it's pretty cool. Like it was nervous to me. Like I've known you guys my whole life, and like we're like just talking to each other with no crowd. Like for my career, I talk to random people. Yeah. And I don't get nervous with that, but like it's nervous here. So,
well, buddy,
I had a blast.
We are flattered at the compliments, and seriously, man, that means the world. So, I'm really thankful that you feel that way, and thankful that you wanted to be a part of this in some way. So, yeah, man, and I mean, just reiterating what Smalls had said, this was like the most in depth. Like I'd probably say this is like. We've had other episodes that were awesome and entertaining, but this is probably our deepest episode in terms of conversation. So, I mean, the fact that like we gave a lot more reason behind picks and there was a lot more perspective being given. I mean, this was awesome. I had a great time, man. And I want to thank the both of you for letting us do this topic this week. And I had a blast, and I can't wait for everybody to see it.
Yep.
That's gonna be awesome. Hey, you guys, put a good word in for me. You guys need anybody out there? Like, hey, I gotta get a better camera and mic and everything. But
well, dude, I mean,
yeah, us too. We're waiting for Derek's supposed to buy me a laptop, so I mean, there's that too. But we'll see what happens.
Hey, I'll be your what's that guy's from American Idol that filled in for Regis on Kelly and Regis.
Simon Cowell. Simon Cowell. Simon?
What? No. Chris. No, his name's Chris something, I think.
I don't know. I don't know.
And you ever watch Regis and Kelly, like that show?
Like
Michael
years
Strahan's
ago.
on.
Like years ago, yeah.
Ryan Seacrest, that's his name. Ryan Seacrest. Okay.
All right.
Okay. I'll just never mind. Okay, just fuck it.
Well,
I'll be your Ryan Seacrest. You guys need the host fill in on there.
No, Ben. How about that idea though? We just like Falk just like opens the show, like
Hey, if we're ever able, if we're ever able to get us together and we were to do a Vault Live show, absolutely.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
I'm just saying, like I think, especially as I think as a guest perspective, like seeing you guys from, like a viewer, right, and then being on this, like how everything was so natural and really appealing. So definitely a lot more fun, like being here.
Oh yeah. Well, I already wrote down Falk equals Seacrest. So like we'll
It's in the notes. It's in the notes. All right. Well, hey, to you boys, thank you again, and to everybody that's getting to view this, we thank you for tuning in and watching and having some fun with us, picking apart some tattoos, and yeah, shout out GSE. But thank you, man, again for coming on, and Smalls, it's been a pleasure per usual, and everybody, we will catch you next week.
Every week, man. This has been the Vault Weekly Show that takes a look back at some of the best and worst jerseys in sports. This week, we didn't do jerseys, we did tats. But whatever, bro. Fuck it. Like, we're here. We're doing whatever we want, Benny is looking like Cyclops.
Where is my super suit?
Well, dude, we might have had. I know, dude. I'm buzzing right now.